Romaine, good to see you. Just give us your reaction to the 3 points being awarded to Brentford.
Amazing. Easiest 3 points we've ever going to have, I'm sure, in our career. But the situation's a bit of a difficult one, but from our standpoint, we're just happy that it's all dealt with now. So we're not in limbo regarding the 4 days after Sunday.
What was going through your mind, the manager's mind, and what was he saying to you as this process was happening?
He was just keeping us in the loop of everything that was going on behind the scenes, and just to be prepared that we might be in for a couple of extra days after Sunday's game. It would have been a bit of an unfortunate one, but it's part of our job, so we would have to do it.
You say unfortunate because, as it stood, the season was going to be extended. Had you made any plans to go away? Because the season would have finished. You'd have had every right to think, right, I'm going to go on holiday. Had you planned anything?
Yeah, me personally, I did. I don't think a lot of the boys did. I tried to get away and relax as early as possible, but some of the boys are in over the summer because they've got tournaments or international games, so I don't think they would have been affected, but anybody like myself that's booked an early holiday would have. But like I said, it's part of the job. So
what was your schedule? Sunday was the last game. Were you going away before that Bolton game would have been played?
Yeah, I would have been away on Monday, but obviously I'd had to change my plans. But again, it's nothing that I wouldn't have done for a game of football.
But is that something that maybe you'd spoken to the manager about? Potentially saying, look, I booked this.
No, especially now as a captain, I definitely couldn't do it. But I just said, when he mentioned it, it was just a straightforward conversation. If we're going on Tuesday, we're going on Tuesday. It's part of my job, as simple as that.
But also, you'll go away as planned. You have to rearrange.
Yeah. Luckily, I have. So I can still get away.
Good. So the result is a 1-0 victory. It's a clean sheet for Brentford.
Yeah.
Are you trying to claim the goal?
Yeah.
How does that work?
I don't know, but I'm going to find out before the end of the day. And if there's a name that needs to be attached to it, it will be mine. But we'll see. I've never been in this situation, and I'm sure I'll go to the right people at the club who can go and make it mine if possible. But I'm sure somebody needs to claim the goal, and I'll be the front of the list.
Just rewind back to last week when you're up in the northwest preparing for a game against Bolton. Could you prepare as normal? What was going through the mind of the players, of the manager, as you're looking ahead to a game that might not happen?
You prepare as normal just in case it does, and I think you would want to be as natural as possible, because if it does go ahead and you've prepared in limbo, you're not preparing for the game right. So you think you've got to prepare as much as a normal routine, and then if like what happened happens, then you just take it in your stride.
What did you make of the decision of the Bolton players not to fulfil the fixture?
I've not been in that situation. I'm sure it's a difficult situation to be in, but I'm fortunate enough to be this side of the fence. I'm sure they have their reasons in-house, whether it comes to surface or not, I'm not sure of. But me personally, you just have to keep going, and I'm lucky to be in the Brentford dressing room.
If it had been a situation where you were confronted with, do you think yourself and your teammates, from what you know of them, would have proceeded?
I don't know a lot of it, if I'm being honest, so I can't honestly answer that question.
Have you experienced anything like this before in your own team, in opposing teams, anything like this?
Never. This is the first. I've heard of players not getting paid and stuff, and I think they've had it a couple of times during the season, but from a personal standpoint, no.
Just finally for me, a top 10 finish now looks
very much achievable.
It looks very possible. How big an incentive is that you can send the fans away with that positive feeling with the last home game of the season now?
Massively. As it got announced, a few of the boys had mentioned that I don't think Brentford have finished outside the top 10 since they've been in the Championship, and I wouldn't want a team that I'm involved in to be the first team to do that. So now that we're into 12th, that is a massive incentive to go in, especially at home. It's a good send-off for the fans.
Brilliant, thank you.
I mean, just in regards to the Bolton situation, before we sort of move on to the weekend's game, how much sympathy do you have for the Bolton players and the staff members at a football club who's, they don't know what their futures are, they don't know if they're going to still get paid? I mean, I know you're at a much more stable football club. I mean, do you feel a little bit grateful for that situation? How much sympathy do you have for people's livelihoods that have been affected by this situation?
Yeah, that's right. I think people don't always realise that it goes further than just the players. They've got families and they've got people that I'm sure rely on. We're in a fortunate job where a lot of your family members do rely or lean on you for support, and if the top of the tree is not being looked after by his employees, then it is going to be hard for everybody involved. So massively sympathy, and then at the same time you've got to be grateful that we're at a club that's run perfectly fine and they've never been in a similar situation. So both opposite ends of the spectrum, you're extremely grateful and you feel a lot of sympathy for them.
Yeah. From your point of view, I suppose it is a little bit. It's a bit unsettling, isn't it? When you don't know if you're preparing for a game. You were up in the northwest last week, thinking, are we playing? Aren't we playing? I suppose you have to get on with your job, but you don't live in a bubble. You do exist as normal human beings in a world where you cope with these sort of circumstances. It can't help but affect you.
With the travelling, we had to get our head right, because like you said, we don't know. But during the week there's been a bit of banter. We know who's not going to and what we're not going to do, and you think of all the hypothetical situations, but at the same time, the back of the mind, as closer it gets to what would have been Tuesday's game, we'd have to start being more serious about it. So it's been good that we've got it dealt with before Sunday's game, so now we can go into that with a clearer mind, because I'm sure it would have not affected us in terms of the game, but to have that limbo around the game 2 days after, it's a bit easy to be settled now.
And without wishing to be light-hearted about it, obviously it would be seen as an away win, which have been tough to come by this season, haven't they? What's been the reason behind that, Romaine? Because the home form's been great, and then this is technically the third away win of the season only without playing.
Yeah, we needed this more than ever. Yeah, definitely. And if you saw the reaction to the news in the gym, I'm sure someone will put it on social media. At some time today, it's like we won the league. Everybody knows that we found it hard on the road, and I think we've just been a bit naive sometimes and thought we could play the same at home as we did away. Not in a disrespectful way where we're not showing the home team respect, but I just think the belief and confidence within the camp has been strong enough to feel like we can go and dominate home or away. I think the results haven't always been fair to our performance, and it's a good thing to have that confidence and belief that you can go and beat anybody home or away on your day. And I think it just boils down to being a bit more strategic with it as players. Maybe mentally we need to toughen ourselves up a little bit away from home when we get adversity against us, whether it's goal down, goal up, X, Y and Z. At home we deal with it very much. We've come back from 2-0 downs and stuff like that. But away from home with the 12th man, it's always going to be harder. And I think going into next season we've highlighted that, and I think it will stand us good next year.
And a top 10 finish is now still possible with a win. At the weekend. When you consider how difficult at times this season's been, change of manager, very popular manager, I know Dean Thomas is very popular as well, obviously with what happened to Robert, which had an effect on everyone at the football club, to finish in a position maybe in the top 10 again at championship level, will you come out of that at the season and think, actually we've come through a very difficult season, we've just still shown a lot of strength and a lot of fortitude?
Yeah, I think when you look at the playing squad, people might say it's not a good finish, we should be in the top 6, but like you said, everything that surrounded the club and the things that we had to take on board and take in our stride and come out the right side of it, I think a top 10 finish is very good for the team and a good foundation into building into next season. I think we all wanted to finish in the top 6 from the start of the season, but like you said, there's been obstacles that are out of control of ourselves that we can't, and we've tried to push and bounce back every single time, and I think a top 10 finish would kind of highlight how far we've come.
Could be quite an entertaining game, because there's nothing to lose in many respects, so both teams can go out there, cut loose and enjoy your football, I would have thought, and this last game of the season before you all head off on holiday.
I think if that's the case, we will win that game, especially at home. We're a joy to watch, especially when we're on our game, and I think, like you said, Sunday's a massive incentive to go and play one more almost cup final to the end of the season, give the fans something to cheer about and brag about over the summer, keeping their good spirit until next season. And the same with the players, we want to end the season. Nobody wants to lose and not being able to rectify it, so if we win the game it'll be a lot easier to go away and enjoy family time.
And highlight of this season, there's been some tough times, we've alluded to that. What have been the positives, what have been the highlights for you personally this year?
My biggest honour has been the captain. I think at first I was sceptical about responsibility, but I think I've grown into it and I've enjoyed it thoroughly. I think it raised my standard as a person and a player on and off the pitch, and I think that's echoed around the dressing room, and I think me and Thomas have had a greater relationship. Everybody knows me and Dean Smith had a relationship, but I think me and Thomas are just as strong now, which is a good thing moving forward. And I just think, like you said, our home force, some of the football that we play sometimes is like even on the pitch, you celebrate like a fan would celebrate, which is good. And we've got a lot of young talent that needs nurturing in the right way in the right environment. But I think Thomas is shaping that up, and I think everybody's got next forward to look forward to positively.
And moving forward, obviously, there's a lot of speculation. Fans are looking at it and they'll say, well, you talk about moving forward to next season. There will be no doubt a summer where people are keeping their fingers crossed that the players they see out on the pitch on Sunday, they'll see the same players out on the pitch at the beginning of August, because obviously the summer is a period of potential movement, isn't it? Yeah. How many of your teammates do you think would be welcoming back?
I think it's the Brentford way. I think we've done it as long as I've been here, and I'm sure they've done it before that. But one thing the club has always done is got it right, and I think when I got here I thought the squad was good, and we lost the so-called stars and Scott Hogan and Yotta and stuff. And if you see the team now, I think it's the best team that I've been in the 3 years that I've been here. So they've proven time and time again that they get it right off the pitch. So if for whatever reason people were to go out the door, I'm sure the replacements will be as good, if not better, because like I said, their track record speaks for itself.
And just finally, again, without being too light, you might face a battle to claim that goal, because I would imagine Neil will want it, because it pushes him just that little bit closer to 30 for the season, doesn't it?
Neil's gone home, so he can't claim it right now. No. This is our, like, you know, the first to hear about it. I didn't make it vocal because I'm sure there'll be 3 or 4 that would want to claim it, but hopefully when I go and speak to the people in the power now, they can do. But if Neil can get it, I'll happily give it to Neil if he's going to go and get to 30 goals, because it'll be a massive achievement for him as a person, and it shows what we do as a team behind him. So if that was the case, I'd be more than happy.
Brilliant. Well, that's good.
No worries.